Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well. We just had another huge console mod drop in Baldur's Gate 3's mod manager. Today there are 20 new mods, and I'll also be covering some of the mod updates that we got last week. But there are 3 subclass mods here today, alongside some mods that people have been asking for a while. We also have another Shadar Kai RACE mod here. The Transmogrify, I've seen so many requests for this particular one to get added. There's new backgrounds, evolved characters, Gortash's cane, and even players' handbook pieces so you can assemble the gameplay the way you want it. And I'll start off with the subclass mods because I know a lot of people are looking forward to more subclass mods. This last couple weeks there was not that many, but we first here got ourselves the Helllcleaver Barbarian subclass here. This mod is made by Rock Hounding, and it is a fire-focused subclass here. Really interesting too, because you get a Burning Rage here, which sets you on fire for 5 turns, but it allows you to do some different attacks. You even get a Fiery Cleave here, which makes you and the target burn. You also get resistance to fire damage, so you'll be taking less of it, and you also deal an additional 1d4 fire damage while you are burning. I also keep accidentally leaking my next subclass mods, but almost done with this one. It should be releasing later this week. I'll get to that in a later video. But continuing on with this class, at level 6, you get additional 6 meters of movement speed when you are on fire, and you add your strength modifier to your attack rolls while you're against burning targets, and you also get a flame release, a bonus action attack here, which unleashes the flames that stir within, and it gives the targets burning for 5 turns. So kind of the combo here, but you blast them with this, and then go in with your boost to your attack rolls. And upon hitting level 10, you get the Unquenchable Flames, so you can ignore resistance and immunity to fire damage, and you deal an additional 3 fire damage when. This will actually be 4 points when you level up because it adds your proficiency bonus, which becomes 10 upon hitting the level 10 here. But another thing about this is it'll stack on any other sources of fire damage that you have. So if you're using things like the Helldust Gloves to add fire damage, this will add an additional 4 points on top of that. So it can get pretty powerful if you want to build around it. And you also get immunity to fire damage. So that is the Helllcleaver Barbarian. Next up, we got the College of Command Bard here by the Wailing Bard. Now this subclass is all about support, as the Bard naturally is. So using your entire action here, you get the option to give an extra attack to a teammate for your full action. The Defensive Order here, granting a bonus to the target's armor class equal to one of your Bardic Inspiration rolls, kind of similar to what a Valor Bard can do. We also got the Maneuvering Order, which will give 3 meters of movement speed and do not trigger opportunity attacks for the action and Bardic Inspiration. Steadfast Order, if your ally makes an ability check or saving throw that uses Strength, Dex, or Constitution before the start of its next turn, you add a bonus equal to your Bardic Inspiration roll, which again scales up. And the Support Order, this one could actually be pretty crazy because the way stealth works in this game with greater invisibility and things like Pass Without Trace, you can basically make someone stay invisible forever. So if you want to like fully support your stealth rogue, this would be the way to do it. The Support Order will give your Bardic Inspiration to that roll. So yeah, stacking up with something like the Pass Without Trace from the Ranger or Druid can actually become pretty powerful. Level 6 is where it all comes together with the Gallant Leader here, so you can seamlessly fight and issue orders to your allies. So whenever you use an order, you can then do a bonus action attack, and you have advantage on saves against being frightened. And this has level 20 support, so when you hit level 14, you can issue an order without using your Bardic Inspiration. It'll use a d6 in replacement of that, so it'll be less than the normal roll you'd have at a time. And whenever you do that, the target will get 6 temporary hit points. So that is the College of Command by the Wailing Bard. And we got another one here, the Way of the Forge Monk subclass, also by the Wailing Bard. This one I actually covered a year and a half ago. I really enjoy this, I guess a year ago when it released. This subclass is a monk that is based around using like hammers and fire damage. I just want to provide a heads up if you're having issues with this mod. So it's a bug basically whenever you have this mod installed, the way it's coded is going to overwrite any of the other mod monk subclasses that you may have. So if you want to use the Way of the Forge and you have other mods installed, you're going to have to unfortunately install them. And they fixed it in future mods, so perhaps a update will come to this later on, let you use it with other monk subclasses. But just wanted to get that out of the way in case anyone's having issues with it. You get the Fireforged Spirit here, which gives you proficiency in flails, morning stars, and warhammers, and these count as your monk weapons. And you can use your strength modifier in place of dexterity for your unarmored defense. So this can be a wisdom and strength-based class. You can also spend 1 key point to deal additional fire damage, and also you get Forged Magic here, which lets you use certain abilities, and one can be done once for free per long rest, and then you use your key points to be able to cast them later on. And alternatively, if you have spell slots from another source, you can use those to cast it instead. And you also have the Keen Weapon, it gives a 1d6 bonus to its damage rolls. Upon hitting level 5, you'll get Heat Metal in addition to that. And when you use your, or I guess at level 6, when you use your Unbearable Heat to deal that additional fire damage, you can force a target to do a strength save or get knocked prone. Level 9 gives you the Forge Magic aura of Iron here, so within 9 meters, each creature, including yourself, takes half damage from the next instance of non-magical bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing, and the next time it deals that damage, it adds a d6 to the roll. So basically everyone in your area gets that buff. It's kind of cool. And upon hitting level 11, you get the Furnace Fires here, which is a 4d8 of fire damage, hits everybody in the area, and for the next 10 turns, anyone that starts their turn within 2 meters of you will take a 1d4 of fire damage. So pretty cool. It also at level 17 adds the Wisdom modifier to strength or constitution saves you make, and when you activate extra attack, you can spend 1 key point to replace your second attack with casting a Forge Magic spell. So yeah, a lot of fun stuff here, and they got a full breakdown there if you're curious. The Muscly Monk. Now this is another one I'm not sure how it's working on console. 2 weeks ago we got a Shadar Kai, but it was counted as a sub-race, so figured that was fine. This one counts as a race. I'm not entirely sure how this is working, but it may potentially come into issues if you're using the Kuatoa. I don't think a lot of people end up are, but this one's really well done. You get the Blessing of the Raven Queen here using a Raven Point, letting you teleport to a location you can see up to your proficiency bonus per day. You also get a Find Raven ability. The Trance, you can enter a Deep Trance twice per day to gain a proficiency in a weapon or tool of your choosing. Also with this race mod, the Shadow Curse does not affect you and you have a natural resistance to necrotic damage. You can see into the dark up to 12 meters and you get the base 9 meters of movement speed. There are 2 different subclasses. With the Shadar Kai Netherese version here, due to your connection to the Raven Queen, you gain a +2 racial bonus to death saving throws. There's also the Shadar Kai Elven version, which gives you the Fey ancestry. You have advantage on saving throws against being charmed and magic can't put you to sleep. The cool thing about this too is that it comes with a few different like race or skin colors there, so you have like the Shatter Smoke, so you can go all the way through. I know people are looking for things like this for the mods, and it's nice to see that is included. There's also some dyes, as well as outfits that I can't really show here, but you get the idea. They're like a Kit Bash version of base game outfits, similar to Minthara's outfit. So here's everything that is included with this mod. Honestly, super cool mod, and I'm really excited to see that this is now available on console. So yeah, we may see more race mods in the future. It's full of surprises with Baldur's Gate 3 modding. Now next up, I know a lot of people are really looking forward to the Transmogrify, which lets you change your armor appearances into the Dark Urge Slayer equipment by Skirby. And this mod has a bunch of different outfits here that I know a lot of people wanted to be able to finally transmogrify. So this lets you do it. It's amazing. So yeah, if you want to transmogrify, the thing is, you're able to see your weapons when you do things like this. And I hope we'll see more Transmogrify mods make their way over to console because I really like them on PC. So here's hoping. Now this is an awesome mod. Backgrounds unlocked here by the Cobalt Cactus. They are the creator of the Shadar Kai RACE mod as well. What this one does is it adds in 10 new backgrounds to the game. And they come with different skill proficiencies here as well. One nice thing about it is that they are based on like the base game ones for inspiration purposes. So like if you take the Astral Zealot, which is kind of like a Lae'zel type class, similar inspiration sources to the Soldier here. This is one thing that I think is amazing. And one of my favorite base game backgrounds is the Guild Artesian here because they get so many inspiration points. You can max out Friendship with a Vendor and get it easily that way. So the Grove Tender will have that as well. I'll just quickly click through them. They have really nice icons as well. You can tell they put a lot of attention to detail into this mod. Astral Zealot getting Athletics, Intimidation, Wizard of Waterdeep getting the Arcane and History, the Cloistered Stray, Religion and Survival. You can imagine who these are all based on. Blade of Frontiers, Athletics and Persuasion. That's a solid choice. The Blood War Veteran, Athletics and Survival. Underdark Exile, Deception and Intimidation. The Grove Tender is mentioned, also the great inspiration choice. Animal Handling and Nature. World Wise Heroine, Insight and Intimidation. And the Legend of Baldur's Gate, with the hamster on his bicep. Animal Handling and Perception. And whenever you get that inspiration, it shows your background. This is one of the most like lore appropriate mods that I've seen for Baldur's Gate 3. Incredible job with this, and I'm happy it's now on console. Next up, we got Squire Evolved by Xaeon. This is so exciting. I love their Evolved mods, and Squire is a good boy. So this now lets you recruit them during the finale of Act 2 if she smelled Isabel's blessing on the player. You will have to convince her to join if Isabel is not joining camp, found in both Rivington and the Lower City if not recruited during the Act 2 finale, and joins camp can be talked to either in camp or when summoned. These mods are seriously incredible. Now, like other of Xaeon's mods, kind of similar to Scratch being much of like a paladin, the Squire is kind of like the antithesis with an Oathbreaker like paladin with some abilities that like Miracle has. So he got there's the spell casting animation. You have progression similar to the other ones. They are quite strong in a fun way and feels lore appropriate when you get it here. So a ton of abilities here. I do intend at some point to do a full video breaking out all of these because there's so many cool additional features that each of these evolved versions of the classes gets. And it does have full level 20 support as well, so incredible. Yeah, I'm happy this one's now on console. Next up, we got Bane's Cane, a cane weapon from Archduke Gortash by Poesielibre. This weapon is awesome. Have you ever wanted to hit someone with a cane? And if you want to get yourself one of Bane's canes, you got to go to the Devil's Fee and pay a fee to the devil. The Gortash cane here, flip grip, is available from Helllcleaver here, or if you beat up Gortash himself. And then boom, you got yourself the cane. And funny enough, whenever I got it, it randomly also gave me the funny Hatman hat here. And what's even better is if you're using a mod for like hip sheathing, which there are some on console, this will put it on your hip. Yeah, I love different types of weapons like this. It feels appropriate to have a weapon like that in the game after beating Gortash, so yeah. It doesn't have any like super special abilities, but it does a 2d6 of damage for a club that's also light, meaning that you could pair this with like the Hill Giant club and then have this one in your main hand doing some pretty good bonk damage. Now, I am really happy to see mods like this come to console. The Cleric and Domains Player's Handbook 2024 by Chiz Freak. Now, if you've played the very, very large Player's Handbook 2024 All-in-One Beyond mod, you'll know that there's a lot of changes that mod makes. What I like about smaller packs like this is not everyone wants to play a Paladin that got hit with 2024 changes. So you can now play with the particular pieces that you want. I hope we'll see a lot more because there's other creators like the Real Zir who has made a lot of 2024 Player's Handbook mods. But this one here has like a lot of the changes here, compatible with level 20, patch 8 supported. And there are a lot of different changes here. Also, speaking of Cleric, I hope my Lucky Clover domain comes very soon. It has been submitted for console approval. We'll just have to wait and see. But with this one here, just a brief overview of the changes at level 1, quite a bit. So you get the option between Protector or Thaumaturge for your Divine Orders. You also get to re-choose a cantrip at each level here. Base proficiencies will be light armor, medium armor, shields, and also you get, this is my subclass, so just swap to a normal one here. You get just Morningstar proficiency, and if you choose a Divine Order, you can get flail proficiencies as well from this. And the Protector is also a way to get your heavy armor. So if you want to play a particular cleric, you no longer have to pick like Tempest or War Cleric or Life Domain to be able to get your heavy armor. You get it all with this mod. Now there is actually quite a few changes to the Cleric 2024. I'd have to do a full dedicated video to break all of this down. I don't want to waste anyone's time that may not be fully interested in this, but they did an incredible job with this. And if you're a fan of the Cleric and want to try something new, this would be like one of the #1 mods I'd highly recommend to change. It changes all the subclasses. It makes some new abilities. It's fun and it's balanced. That's one of the most important things, I think. And yeah, definitely worth checking out. And I'm also going to recommend another mod if you want to download this one, because it doesn't make any of the changes to Cure Wounds or any of the other spells here, but there is a mod on console, the Cure Wounds 2024 Player's Handbook. Cure Wounds sucks until this mod existed, because the 2024 Player's Handbook is so much more generous to healing. It is now a 2d8 per spell level. So basically on every single upcast, you're just going to get an additional 1d8, making it much more worthwhile. But I digress. Definitely worth checking out with the Cleric Domains 2024. Next up, we got the Weightless Immediate Tutorial Chest by Cure May. Any tutorial chest fans in the audience today? Because we also got the Easy Toggle tutorial chest mod here by Karneth888. So I'll just kind of give you a brief breakdown of the Weightless Immediate Tutorial Chest. This mod is exactly what it says. It gives you an immediate tutorial chest, but you also get the ability to summon it in at any time. Now, if I just want to give a little brief heads up, if you have a lot of equipment mods, last week we got a ton of them, you may not want to always be loading in your tutorial chest, because it gets to lag a little bit, especially on console. So just want to put a little heads up out there, but I think it's super useful to just get it right away if you wanted that. I also want to recommend, since I typically will just mention other mods that you may already have installed, if you're using the cheater spell, there is a tutorial chest. It only lasts for 5 turns, but if you want to have all of the tutorial chest goods in your inventory straight from the start of the game and at any time that you want to summon it in, this is the mod to download. I'm also shocked. The Easy Toggle tutorial chest. This was the first tutorial chest mod. I thought this one would come to console maybe like a year and a half ago. So yeah, it's no longer supported. If you're going to download one, it'd probably be this one here. So yeah, that is funny to see them add this one now. But we also got a newer mod, the Poesielibre's Additional Natural Hair Colors by Poesielibre. Maybe it's natural, maybe it's Maybelline, maybe it's Poesielibre. And I'll show you what it looks like here on the Amanda hairstyle here. So you have all these selections here, and again, they are very natural. So you got Poesielibre Bark, Driftwood, Cattail, don't eat those, Ebony, Soil, Raffia, Vellum, Suede. There's a lot of them. I'm just going to quickly click through them here. Natural hairstyle colors, and I love things like this because, again, there's a lot of hair color options, but having ones that may match your natural tone is really good. And also another thing to note, different hairstyles and different highlights are going to have different appearances overall. So yeah, you can get ideas of what this all looks like from their mod here. They have a wide variety of them all dyed out there. So you just want to look through it if you're looking for a particular natural color. Next up, we got Snails Hair. Snails Hair. And this actually goes perfectly with the Fairy Wings underwear, which came to console like 6 months ago or so by Snail Destruction as well. The hair mod here gives this braid that you saw my character use for the entire video here. I love it. It's got the physics there. It's somewhat similar to one that you may have in Tav's hair salon, but I like it. It's big, thick braids, and they look really nice, especially if you're flying around with your fairy wings. Next up, we got Monk's Bonus Unarmed Strike by Firestorm 808 HD. So this basically just gives you that free bonus action attack at any time. It'll work with pretty much any monk subclass out there, especially if you're using the Pizza Chef monk. So yeah, this just gives you that bonus action strike. So if you want to cook up some sweet dough and still punch people in the face, you can do it with this mod. So go download the Pizza Chef monk. Larian's been using it in their playthroughs on stream, and they've been enjoying it as well. And these mods go together very well. Next, we got the full party statue buff by Yolfin here, and this does what the name implies. The statue buff that you get basically just gives you that sweet stone features that you get from the statue in Act 3, and it's basically just blessed for your entire party. So that's nice. I like whenever you can share the buffs with the rest of your teammates. Next up, we got the DMH assets, Rathgor Darker Dragonborn CC by Helllcleaver, one step closer to potentially getting Karlach as a Dragonborn on PC, on PlayStation 5 and Xbox. I'm really hoping that we see that come to console sometime soon. This one just adds in the Rathgor head, but I want to note that if you do have Clan Song, which is on PlayStation 5 and Xbox currently, it will add that in as part of that mod, and it makes the Dragonborn have natural talking animations. Helllcleaver does some amazing stuff. I'm very thankful that they've been creating mods for Dragonborn fans, because honestly, I don't know what we do without them if you're a fan of Dragonborn. Finally, or not finally, we have a couple more. Githuyanki Psionics by Yoonmoon Sick. This just makes it so your Githuyanki abilities are no longer counted as spells, so you don't get counterspelled. We also got Isobel Restyled here by What's on the Flip. This gives Isobel a new appearance here. So less gothic, more Isobel bright light. Yeah, Isobel Restyled. Moon Maiden themed earrings as well on there. We also got Florrick Dirt Be Gone by What's on the Flip here. So Counselor Florrick, for I guess obvious reasons in the plot, is a little dirty, and whenever you see her, it doesn't get cleaned. She doesn't get cleaned up. This just makes it so that she is cleaned up. Really cool character. I love seeing different mods like this for them. And it makes sense. It applies a soap wash condition to her, which someone would have definitely offered her a sponge. At least I hope so. And the final mod for today is a D&D Classic Dice set here by Proxima Centauri 97. This adds in some dice that you probably maybe even have at home already. It's classic looking D&D dice. I really like simple things like this. If you're just looking to, restack your dice, this would be a mod to check out. I also want to mention that these mods don't take very long at all for them to test and approve, and that's why we see them in certain mod drops. So yeah, we do have some mod updates that I want to quickly talk about here, like the Baldur's Gate 3 Chocolate Edition by Creative Excuses. So this brings it to the 51 day ago version of the mod. So if you want, you can go onto the link that I'll have in the description here that lays out, they do an amazing job of listing out all the mod changes you can see there. Chocolate Edition, as the name implies, if you are used to playing Baldur's Gate 3 vanilla, this is an entirely new experience. It has a lot of changes, and I think they do a great job of keeping things balanced, bringing new variability to classes that, you just skip in Baldur's Gate 3 if you're playing vanilla. And just a heads up, do not update mid-run if you're on honor mode. You may want to keep using it. So I would recommend for a lot of these large mods, typically a smaller subclass, an item mod, you can typically update those mid-playthrough. Large overhauls, I wouldn't fully recommend doing it just in case something does go wrong. So I just want to put a little heads up out there. We also got updates too. Another mod that I would recommend probably not updating unless you're starting new is the Ancient Mega Pack plus REL Random Loot. This is a huge mod, as you guys know. A lot of stuff going on with it, and they put out updates very, very frequently. Like if we look at this, there's probably one within the last few days. Yeah, there is. Huge changes. So yeah, wow, yeah. All right, so I found the one that's on PlayStation 5. It's 30 days old here, so yeah, I won't even be able to get over all the different changes that have happened since the last one. I may do a future video on this because there has been some changes. My older videos don't really apply anymore, but yeah, whenever I get some time, it's a huge mod. It takes me a lot of time to go through these and make sure I can explain it properly. And finally, another update, we got the Mind Weaver class update. If you haven't checked this mod out in a while, you may want to, because there are so many new subclasses that have been added here. If you've played it from when the mod just came to console, it used to only have 4. Now we got 9 entire classes with the Shadow don't mind having a cool teleport. Frostveil Sage is my personal favorite, and Etheric Strider is also really cool, but definitely worth checking out. Honestly, a phenomenal mod drop here, and lots of great stuff for everyone. I will hopefully be releasing my newest mod later on this week, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope you guys all have an incredible day.